Welcome to the Fashion Department, a podcast that will explore the world of fashion and how it informs all aspects of life, from dress and lifestyle to food and travel. And now, let me introduce you to your fabulous host, Tina Bercoli, a Greenwich, Connecticut-based wardrobe stylist and radio show personality with over 20 years in the fashion industry. Tina will share her take on style, trends, the business of fashion, and on being grateful. And now, here's your host.
Welcome to the fashion show. I've got lots of hot topics for you today. First up, we're going to get into the business of fashion, a buzzword that has become a huge part of most of fashion brands' culture, sustainability. Fashion brands' flying habits are becoming questionable more and more, and not so sustainability meaning not just in the overall picture, because the overall picture includes travel, so not just how something is made, where something is made, equality, all that stuff. There's lots of parts that go into the idea or the theory of, well, it's not a theory, the idea of sustainability in fashion brands today. But travel is a big part. So flying has been, the probably the fastest way for brands to get things back and forth, obviously, whether it's supplies or it's products. And the proportion of clothes, shoes, and textiles shipped by air has doubled in the past decade. So, flights are the most carbon-intensive means of moving goods. So if fashion continues to speed up, as we keep seeing, what can brands do to reduce their carbon footprint? My guest today will join us in this conversation and give her perspective and opinions. Please welcome Genie Morris. Hi, Genie.
Hi. Thanks.
So Genie, absolutely, we love having you here. Genie is the founder of Norwalk Moms, which is an Instagram community that encourages local parents to support local businesses and support each other. Tell us a little bit about this. This is fantastic. Tell us, how did you start this? And tell us all about Norwalk Moms.
So just over 2 years ago, or first I want to say thank you for your interest in the page. I appreciate it. 2 years ago, I moved to Norwalk. I'm Canadian from French Canada. And I moved to Norwalk and I had these young children. I didn't know anybody. And I was honestly just looking for friends. And I went on Instagram because that's my social media go-to. And I start going, Norwalk Moms, Norwalk parents, Norwalk families. I'll take Norwalk dads, like whatever. And I kept finding for Norwalk. And I'm like, okay, well, it was bizarre because Norwalk is such a family-oriented community. They have stepping stones. They have the museum. They have the camp store at the Sono Collection. So it really is, like, to me, the family town in Fairfield, Connecticut. So I went on Instagram, checked the handle Norwalk Moms. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's available. I'm going to find Norwalk Moms and they're going to add me and we're going to be friends.
I love that you had a plan. I love it.
I'm going to find some friends. 2 years later, it's kind of organically turned into like a business, a community business that really supports. It's not just Norwalk, because I find as a Norwalk mom, I travel to Greenwich, I travel to Westport. It's really, you don't stick to your town, you go around. So really supporting people in like the Fairfield County area and just supporting businesses, families, parents, entrepreneurs, pet moms, dog moms. My followers, I realized like I have a lot of men followers, didn't know that. Some of them have no kids. So yeah, I just started something to find friends and it turned into something else.
And do you kind of do you do a newsletter? How do you kind of keep everybody connected?
So I'm a one-man show right now. So I'm just focusing pretty much on Instagram and Instagram content. No blog posts yet, but just sharing and supporting things that are happening in the community, not just events or not just, play dates for kids, but people in the community that are doing great things. Just highlight, sharing it.
Fantastic. I love that.
People are doing.
Okay. So once again, we'll give out your handle a couple times, but it's at Norwalk Moms. the page where anyone can go to. You don't have to live in Norwalk. You can live anywhere, really. I know that you're all over the map. I know that you're in Greenwich and you're in Westchester County
Yep.
because you've got different friends there as well, which we'll get to in a bit. And so anyone can check it out. Or maybe send you information if there's something exciting or someone's doing something fantastic in the community. Maybe they can reach out to you, or they can come to find out what's happening in the community. So not just children's stuff, it's anything, correct? Anything.
Yeah, I just shared like yesterday, they did before, like a singles event coming up. I think the type of follower that I'm looking for, the type of follower who would like me, is someone who wants to see something positive, who wants to see something uplifting, who wants to see something that's community based. I don't really share any quote unquote news or, whatever that is. I don't share anything like that because I'm not a news source. You're not coming to me for vital information. You're coming to me knowing that you're going to see something that's going to make you smile. I'll share, really nice, uplifting stories, accounts that I think you should follow, like Good News Movement, and just more uplifting, positive content, because I think that sometimes your feed could be bombarded with things that are not going to, be good for your soul. So I want to put content out there in my posts and my stories that will make you smile.
Fantastic. We love that. I agree with you, by the way. We need more of that. I mean, my show is called The Fashion Department, and I'm obviously a stylist. And so my whole career, I've always made a joke like, well, it's not that serious. It's just lipstick and pantyhose.
Right.
Just poking fun at it. It's not that serious. I'm not saving lives. However, there is certainly a place for creativity and careers like mine or people like you. We need that because we have so much serious stuff going on. So I say the same thing. We're not talking anything about news, current events, politics, none of that. It only has to do with fashion and what's happening around it. We break it down here on the show a little bit to like business stuff or trends or what's happening on style on the street. But again, it's lighthearted. You're coming here to get like good, fun information or just to sit here and chat with us. So happy to have you here. All right. So we love that. So it's at Norwalk Moms. And I want to talk about the story of how we met and how your relation to fashion. First of all, Genie is very fashionable. And she's at...
First of all, every time I've seen you a few times before we actually spoke, you are so well dressed every time. Let's say that first. No, you are so well dressed. Girl.
Okay. Well, thank you. I hope I am because,
no, you are.
I am my own brand and I do have to kind of be presentable at all times. I like to say, even when I go to the grocery store, I say to my husband, if I'm telling people, and I've been a stylist for, 20 something years, I need to look like it. I can't be, who would hire a stylist that looks a mess? It's like going to the gym to hire a personal trainer and they're like, huge, sloppy and sweaty and like an obese person. You probably wouldn't want that trainer, right? You're going to want someone that you think that looks
fit lifestyle that you're trying to.
Yeah. Yes. So here's the story how we met. So Jeannie's this gorgeous, gorgeous lady. And I went to an event that we have a mutual friend and who's also fabulous. And she had an event at Nordstrom in Manhattan. And it was all about fall fashion. And it was kind of showcasing some really fun things that are coming into the store, into Nordstrom. And there was a little fashion show. And Genie was one of the models.
Yes.
So she looked fantastic. And that's how we met. So that's how we connected. And then I remember you approached me and said, "Can I take your picture? And is it okay? Can I post it?"
Yes, you were gorgeous. Your outfit was so gorgeous. I was like, my followers would love to see, like, I didn't even at that point know you were a stylist. I just thought, look at this well-styled outfit. This is like style inspiration for my followers. And look, it's true because you are a stylist. So
So that's how we met. And and then obviously started following Genie. And then my friend said, oh, she does Norwalk Moms. And I got more background information about you. So it truly was a very organic. I saw you and then I was kind of introduced to you and told who you were. So I saw you. I thought you were beautiful. And then you approached me and we really gravitated towards each other before the formal introduction. So having said that, Genie, so one of our hot topics today is about sustainability. I want to talk a little bit about that and get your opinion. Recently, Kylie Jenner, as well as I think Taylor Swift, a couple other of celebrities, got some negative press after posting. Kylie got some negative press after posting a picture on social media. It was a picture of two jets. Now, by the way, I saw this picture and I kind of just kept scrolling or whatever. I don't follow her, but I think it was in my feed, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. But then I read about this. So it was a picture of two jets, private jets, kind of facing each other, and a picture of her standing in front of one and her baby daddy, Travis Scott, standing in front of the other. And then the caption said, "Want to take mine or yours?" So, and then apparently, I didn't know this, there's a Twitter account that tracks celebrity flights. I didn't know this. And apparently the flight in question was only about 17 minutes. So they obviously were maybe going to Napa. I don't know, maybe going somewhere close. So she got a lot of heat for this. And obviously also the whole sustainability thing. But here's my thought on this. First of all, here's my thought on anyone, but especially celebrities and their stance on the impact of the environment. If you say some people are screaming, green, you've got to reduce the carbon footprint, sustainability, blah, blah, blah. Fine. We love that people take a stance for this and care, because we all need to kind of do our part. But some people are really kind of pounding the drum about this. Then yes, you cannot take a private jet. You cannot do things like this because it's not right. So, you just kind of look silly. And however, if you don't take a stance on this, which I don't believe Kylie in this case has, I don't think she's going on about this. I'm sure she cares about it, but if that's not her platform and she's not, then you can't really say, well, no, she shouldn't be doing this. I kind of feel like overall, we all need to do our part. However, if you choose to listen, if I had the money to have a private jet, I probably would. It's convenience and it's luxury, and that's beautiful at the same time. And here's the other thing. You can think about this. The jet doesn't usually, I don't know about her, but usually it flies a lot of people. It's usually a matter of they fill it up and your celebrity friends or whoever get on it. So there's that. I'm not saying whether it's a good or bad thing. I'm just, talking about the logistics of it. I just think that everyone needs to give everyone a little bit of a break. So I think unless you're really saying this is what I stand for and we've got to, do this, then yes, you need to be accountable. You need to be held accountable if that's your platform. But if it's not, and you are a celebrity and you do have that money and you need to be, maybe she needed to be in an important meeting, quickly, I don't know. So I just feel there's a lot of judgment, and then that's kind of gets heated and goes in a direction that we shouldn't. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on all of this, on celebrities and the impact of the environment?
Just my thoughts. Do you want my thoughts? I have sometimes some different viewpoints, but I'm going to say them. You asked me, so I'm thinking the kindest way to say it. Unless you're living the most green, meaning you're fully plant-based, you're growing your own food, because, if you're eating meat, to grow those farms. So I have a house on a little island in the Azores, and right now we're having a problem where they're exporting so much milk and cheese, so they're cutting down all of our trees to just put more and more cow farms. There's I don't know how many cow farms we need on this island, but it's not even for us. It's not even for us on the island. It's to be sent out. All this cheese, Portuguese cheese, to get sent out, right? So they're cutting down all these trees. But no one's talking too much about the meat industry, right? So I just think that, you got to be careful when you're going to criticize somebody. You got to be really careful and see, what are you wearing? What are you buying? It's very hard to be completely green. It's very difficult. And if you are, I would really think that you should be trying to help people in the kindest way to get there, to show them how to grow their own food, how to be more sustainable, how to maybe reuse water. I'm not sure. But really kind of help them, because we're not all at the same step. I'm happy that you've got there and you've elevated yourself to a stance where you can be green, fully green, and have no carbon footprint, but others might not be there yet. So let's get them there in a kind way. That's the only way I think you can get someone there. Just pointing the finger and that type of vibe is it's so not me. I don't want to talk about what someone else is doing because, I'm not perfect. You could help.
Right.
Help me try to get there, but don't try to make me feel bad about it. That's not nice.
Right. I agree. And that's the other thing. I mean, it's a long way till we're all there, a very long way. However, we all need to maybe take the steps and, like I said, do our part. And what is do our part? Well, do our part, that means something different for me, something different for you,
Right?
something different for Kylie, right? So you're absolutely right. I agree with you. And listen, all opinions are welcome. I'm glad you shared it and you were honest, because that's what we want here.
Like, who's that?
Honesty.
Who's those comments? If we look through those comments, are those people all eating like McDonald's every day? Or are they eating like fast food, which has like, tons of farms, they're, responsible for tons of deforestation, removing trees. Like we don't need as many farms and as many, animals for food production as we have. We don't consume that much. We don't need it. There's so much waste. So you got to really be careful with how you're criticizing somebody.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And again, the word sustainability it encompasses a lot. So, specifically, we're talking about fashion. It includes all of those things you mentioned. It includes all of that. Okay, we're not talking about dairy farms specifically,
Oh, yeah.
but it includes all of the, the shipping and the carbon footprint. It includes everything under that umbrella. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's jobs. It's again, and I talk about this. I've talked about this in previous shows, and I'll always continue to keep kind of talking about this, not in a preachy way, but just more an informative way. Listen, this is how we can do our part. I'm going to have a show coming up in a few weeks about a little more about sustainability and how you can do your part. Small things, start small. Things like shopping secondhand,
Yeah.
shopping vintage. One of my favorite things to do.
That was some
Yeah, and how?
sustainability for clothes is whether you have the means or not. I think it is important to buy some of your things. You can say vintage, used, however it makes you, whatever makes you feel good. Even though you can afford to buy the new, I don't know, D&G boots for 10,000, that's okay. But maybe take a month off and then just find something at a really good vintage shop. That will be a great thing because you're buying something that's used. You're not adding to the production. Right?
Right. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's just one way. There's lots of ways, and we'll talk about this on upcoming shows for sure. But I love that you mentioned that, thrifting and vintage shopping and all that. There's certainly a difference between vintage stores and thrift stores. However, both of them are just recycled. Sometimes it's upcycled. And even doing small things like just recycling your own things, as opposed to getting rid of it. And obviously being more conscious of what you're buying, where you're buying it from. And again, this is where it gets tricky, because not all fashion brands, not even half of the fashion brands, are 100% sustainable, but there are a lot that are now working towards it. So I know H&M is one of them. So that's a low, a more affordable price point. I shop at H&M. They have their conscious collection. It's not 100%, but their goal, I think it's something like by 2025, is to be 100%. And they've taken the steps. So that's all we can do. It doesn't happen overnight.
Right? That could be a company that you support and say, hey, because they're putting such an initiative, I'm going to do that. But now I'm going to consider buying my fall wardrobe, and I'm going to buy at least 3 pieces vintage, used, whatever the term is, right? So I'm going to buy new things for fall, but I'm going to make a point to say, at least I'm going to buy 3 things used or whatever. To at least you took that first step, that first initiative, where maybe you're not going to buy your entire wardrobe like that. But I think doing small steps and finding those brands, right, that are doing something.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's the important. I think the takeaway from today's show is exactly that: doing small steps of what you can do and how you can do it. And like I said, this conversation is very fluid. It's always ongoing for me. I talk about this to my personal clients, and I know who can do what, or approximately. I know some people, their lifestyle, maybe they can do less, maybe they can do a little more. I understand. But I have to say, all of my clients are definitely heading in that direction. They do take small steps towards reducing the carbon footprint. So it's great. It's great. We are, again.
So, but by you educating them, rather than being mean to them, like maybe some of the Kylie, commenters, you doing everything in a kind way. I'm telling you, that's really, it's an approach that a few years ago, I just completely changed my whole mindset, and everything could be done in a kinder way. It may not come in my mind kind, but how it comes out of my mouth that's my control, right? So
absolutely,
you can change the world with your kind movement. You're going to get your clients to be more sustainable because you're doing it in a nice, kind way. You're not making them feel guilty.
Absolutely.
You're not making them feel bad. You're doing it in a nice way.
Yeah, yeah, and that's like you said, that's all we can do, one step at a time, and just offer bits of advice, and when you can and where you can, and make suggestions. So, all right. Having said that, Jeannie, we're gonna play a little game.
Okay.
I love to play games here on the show. It's fun. It's
Right.
easy. So this game is called Like It or Lump It. So I'm gonna give you a trend that's coming up for the fall. You're gonna tell me straight up whether you or you yes, be very honest.
I am.
And this is for you personally. If you say yes right away or no, lump it. Okay, ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. The equestrian trend. Like it or lump
Yeah,
it?
that should always be in trend. Yes.
Agree. And by the way, I don't consider that a trend. I think that's a style. I feel like that's a category on its own.
Yeah, come on. Those boots.
Okay. The color hot pink is in what we've seen Valentino do. Hot pink. Like it or lump it?
Of course. Love it.
Okay. Sequins for day. Like it or lump it?
No, thank you. Pass. Lump it.
No?
No.
Okay, lump it. All right. Parachute pants are coming back, by the way. Like it or lump it?
Not for myself, but for some people it's flattering.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Puddle pants. Do you know what these are? Puddle pants?
They don't sound sexy.
I love it. Okay, so they actually are, but it's kind of a
Style anything sexy. You could style it.
I think you love it or hate it. They're basically like trouser pants that are kind of just a regular, not a super wide leg, not a tapered leg, just a straight cut. And then at the bottom, they kind of puddle. So there's extra fabric at the bottom, like a break.
No, I don't really.
It's a look.
Lump it. I'm going to lump that maybe.
Okay, you're going to lump that. All right, head to toe leather. And it could be vegan leather, by the way.
Yeah. Love it. Come on.
Okay. How about oversized outerwear, like puffers, teddy coats, really, really, really huge?
You. Yes. Love
You
it.
like it?
Yeah, love it. Yes.
Okay. Cat suits.
Like Halloween. What? In what sense? What kind of, like a jumper? Like an Andy Cohen likes a jumper, or like a full leather suit? Because I might love the full leather suit. What material is it?
Okay, the cat suits that I've been seeing for fall it's like a very dancer-like, think burlesque. It's like a stretchy, like four-way stretch cat suit.
no.
It's not leather.
Oh. I'm not sure. Body types. Like, I don't know if I wouldn't even like that. I'm going to lump that.
Okay, lump it. Okay, over-the-knee boots, like it or
Oh,
lump it.
love it. Love it. Love it. Stop.
I knew you were going to say that.
Who's going to say love?
Okay, flapper error opulence, meaning crystals beating rhinestone shimmer.
Yeah, yes. Love it. Why not?
Okay, fantastic. That's our game.
Oh, I liked it. That was a good game.
Yes, it was good, and you were excellent.
Anything I
All right,
just styled nicely, though, and been like, see? Do you love it now?
very true, very true. All right, well, that's going to do it pretty much for this episode, but I always like to end the show with myself and my guest leaving us with one fashion tip or a hack. It could be anything.
Okay.
So, Jeannie, give us your fashion tip or hack.
I'm sure someone else has already said it, but it doesn't matter what you're wearing. If you don't have any confidence, whatever you're wearing, it's not gonna shine. So I think confidence is the first thing that you should put on, and then your outfit will look better.
I love it, and no one has said that, by the way.
Oh, really?
I love that.
Confidence would be like the number one, like.
No.
Okay, what's yours?
Okay, mine is if you tend to wear a lot of solids and you're trying to get into wearing patterns, stripes, floral, whatever it is, if you want to try a print, the best way to do it is a small print, because a small print from a distance reads as a neutral and reads as a solid, rather. Not necessarily neutral, but usually it is darker, but it will read as a solid. So it's a good way to kind of dip your toe in the water when trying to wear a print. And listen, my two favorite words when talking about styling someone is scale and proportion, because you got to understand those two. And then no matter what you put on, you'll look great if you understand scale and proportions. So
it's not as easy to get dressed. Like, it's not as easy for everybody to get dressed. It's not as easy. I think for you, it's okay. But like for some people, I think they struggle on how to make an outfit.
100% correct. But that's okay. That's why I do what I do. All right, Genie, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to see you back here very soon. Thanks for joining the fashion department.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining me in the fashion department. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. For more inspiration and fashion content, check out my website and follow along on Instagram at wardrobe_envy. And a special thanks to the Factory Underground Studio for recording and producing this show. See you next time.